Tonight, a county in Florida misses its recount deadline.
Local volunteer efforts brighten this holiday season.
And Governor Cuomo awards a grant to improve water infrastructure.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Seth Prevertill.
And I'm Caroline Evans.
At least one of Florida's largest counties has missed its recount deadline. Palm Beach County was unable to complete its recount by 3 p.m. local time Thursday. The county struggled with the machine recount as old and overheated machinery malfunctioned Tuesday, forcing officials to start from scratch. A federal judge also rejected a last-minute request by Democrats to extend the deadline beyond 3 p.m.
There are currently 3 statewide races separated by a margin of 0.5%. Those are the races for Florida Governor, U.S. Senate, and State Agriculture Commissioner. According to Florida law, any race with margins outside 0.25% can be certified by law, but those within that range will not now face a manual recount of overvotes and undervotes. The process must be completed by Sunday at 12 p.m. local time.
SUNY Oswego President Deborah Stanley's group on sustainability has been leading efforts to reduce the use of plastics in campus dining centers for over a year. The group has seen a reduction of plastics in the dining halls and an increase in sustainability education. The university's auxiliary services has replaced polystyrene plastic materials with items such as paper condiment cups, plastic straws, and wooden stir sticks. The group hopes to continue seeing improvements in sustainability.
The SUNY Oswego School of Education and 3 schools in Bank Street colleges prepared to teach New York Learning Network has joined together to develop a sustainable funding pathway for programs that embed teacher candidates in schools for 2 semesters. Carnegie Corporation of New York has given a $500,000 grant to prepare to teach New York to support the student teaching, now receiving paid full-time 30-week residents over 2 semesters, and give the student teachers more benefits.
With the holiday season right around the corner, volunteer agencies continue looking for people to help support those in need. A new local service called 211CNY provides people with a chance to search for volunteering opportunities in 5 different counties, including Oswego. People looking to volunteer can find a list of multiple opportunities and organizations within the county by visiting the service's webpage. The United Way is willing to help volunteers that are unsure who to contact.
Now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Khalil McIver. Khalil?
All right. As you can see right now, it is snowing. We have our first measurable snow of the season, and it's very cold and a bit windy outside. Temperatures only reaching 29 degrees today with a low of 18 degrees only last night. We're a bit below average. Taking a look at our temperatures close to home, we're hovering around the 25-degree range. And as we zoom out and you look towards the west, you'll see that towards Buffalo, they're just above freezing, where they had some mixed precipitation and freezing rain. Looking at our radar, you'll see that the snow is moving in and continuing, and zooming out towards the bigger picture. You have this low pressure system moving up the coast with a high pressure system above it, funneling that cold air, giving it this energy that we have and that we need for all the snow. I'll have more, your full forecast for how much snow we'll be having tonight after break. Back to you guys.
On Saturday, November 3rd, the At the Art Studio workshop wrapped up its fall session. As Caitlin Benacase reports, it was a fun celebration of art on SUNY Oswego's campus.
The At the Art Studio workshop is holding its reception for its fall session today, and students will be arriving shortly with their family and friends to show off their work.
Students put their finished art pieces on display, and families and friends of the students were here to celebrate the final day of the fall session. Cynthia Clabo, director of the program, says they make sure that it's easily accessible for all kinds of students.
Any child that wants to come, from any family that would like their child to attend, we'll find funding for them.
Because of this program and funding, students were able to create different pieces of art over the span of 5 weeks. Clabo also adds how parents and guardians are thankful for this program.
We have a lot of grandparents who thank us because they are raising their children's children, and they are just grateful that they have a program they can afford when they're on a limited or fixed income. And then we have working class families who would love for their children to come, and if they make the effort to get them here, we make the effort to make sure they can be here.
At the end of the reception, students brought their completed art with them.
If you're interested in attending the workshop, you can go to www.attheartstudio.org for more information. There will be a winter session held at the end of December. Caitlin Benecase reporting.
The At the Art Studio workshop will hold its winter session from December 27th to the 29th. If you're interested, they encourage you to register early due to limited seating.
Nice opportunity there for families and friends to see some of the students' work.
Yes, definitely, and also the fact that it was all student art, which is really nice to have a showcase for all of it.
Absolutely. Hart Hall hosted the 12th Annual Global Awareness Conference this weekend. Our Adrian Shelton was there on Saturday to learn more about Hart Hall and cultures around the world.
Hart Hall was decorated in bright lights, flags, and globes from the basement all the way to the third floor as it welcomed students to the Global Awareness Conference. Presentations ran through all of Saturday and included many different topics from ancient Egyptian mysteries to education as a human right. The Japanese Club presented the Cherry Blossom Festival, which featured an array of games and snacks as you learned about the importance of the festival to the Japanese culture. Alejandro Estrada, member of the Japanese Club and resident of Hart Hall, helped with the festival events. He gave insight on the purpose of the festival and what it's like to live in a dorm like Hart Hall.
It's basically to just bring the community together and to experience something that's very, in a way, important to the Japanese lifestyle. It's just so nice to know that there's people that can accept me into their own culture and teach me different things that I probably would never have known.
Hart Hall is the only globally centered dorm here at SUNY Oswego. Students who live here are required to take a class that focuses on learning other global cultures. This dorm has the highest population of international students, so it's no wonder why this is the 12th Annual Global Awareness Conference here at Hart Hall.
Chelsea Del Giorno is the IST coordinator of Hart Hall and helped create and maintain the scheduling of the events for the conference. She explained why it's important to have a dorm like Hart Hall on campus.
I think that it's super important to work with international students because they are in a new society and you are learning from them as much as they are learning from you.
Chelsea also said to be on the lookout for the 13th Annual Global Awareness Conference, as each year they try to make it bigger and better. Adrian Shelton reporting.
Suki Kim, a woman who worked as an undercover journalist in North Korea, was the keynote speaker for the event.
Attorney General Barbara D. Underwood has sent a letter to the Trump administration demanding to reverse a policy delaying and preventing the placement of unaccompanied migrant children with their family members or other appropriate sponsors living in the United States. Attorney General Underwood says the federal government must immediately reverse the inhumane policy, and the unaccompanied children are already facing profound trauma.
Governor Cuomo announces just under $23 million in grants for Southern Tier water infrastructure improvements. Funded through New York's Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, the investment supports 11 projects in the Southern Tier. Cuomo says the state's water infrastructure is critical to prosperity and regional growth, as well as protecting natural resources. The governor says the funding provides nearly $47 million in savings for taxpayers and is expected to support the creation of 3,200 jobs.
Democrat Anthony Brindisi now has a larger lead over Republican Congresswoman Claudia Tenney in New York's 22nd Congressional District. After the night of the election, Brindisi was leading the race by 1,293 votes. Unofficial absentee ballot results for Madison, Cortland, and Oswego counties, Brindisi is leading by 1,734 votes. There are more ballots to be counted, and there are more than 13,000 absentee ballots to be casted in the race.
Coming up later tonight, an update on the California wildfires.
And more on a GoFundMe for a homeless man.
This is WTOP 10 Nightly News. We'll be right back.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back inside the studio here in WTOP. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Khalil McIver. As evidenced by my earlier take outside and by the current conditions in Fulton, it is snowing with 25 degrees, and as well as it is snowing farther south in Syracuse. Here's our weather headlines because there's a lot I need to talk about. Here we go. We're looking at possibility of snow through the night, a blustery weekend, lake effect snow, and a cold blast Tuesday. So let's get right on into it. Firstly, we have this low pressure system, this nor'easter moving up the east coast, bringing plenty of snow and mixed precipitation to Buffalo, as well as the mid regions of Pennsylvania and closer to home. You can see that the snow has started and will continue throughout the night. So let's time things out here with the future cast. 12 o'clock, only a few hours from now, the snow continues through the night, and then as we go through 7 a.m., you can see that the snow continues to move out through the region as we're getting up throughout classes. So if you are going through traveling tomorrow morning, be careful out there on the roads. And as we head towards Friday night, we continue to see more of a threat for mixed precipitation as well as some snow as you head farther away from the lake. And as we go through Saturday, a continued mix of snow and rain. So here's another thing. So how much snow are we looking at potentially? This is snow through 10 a.m. tomorrow. A possibility of 3 to 6 inches from Oswego and farther inland. I'd possibly expect maybe about a foot to possibly 18 inches, and maybe the possibility even more in elevated regions as well. And another thing to keep an eye on is the wind. That will be making things feel a lot more colder with the wind chill, and will be a factor throughout tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. So here's a look at your forecast tonight. Snow with winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour and a low of 26 degrees. Tomorrow, the rain and snow continues and begins with winds out of the west at 20 to 15 miles per hour. And then tomorrow night, even more rain and snow, but the winds increase, so be sure to bundle up. So here's your 7-day forecast for you right here on WTOP. For Friday, this nor'easter continues with a threat of rain and snow into Saturday and Sunday. And then as we head towards Thanksgiving break, we get a cold blast of air with a low of only 20 degrees on Tuesday. And then as we head towards Thanksgiving next week, a high of 41 degrees. Stay tuned for more news and sports after the break. You're watching WTOP.
Guys, I don't feel so good. Shouldn't have had that chili for lunch.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach re-employment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
And welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. It's been nearly a week since the wildfires in Northern California have started, with 40% of the fire contained. Since November 8th, 56 people are dead and 8,756 homes have been destroyed. Fixed-wing aircraft and helicopters are working with grounds crew to slow the fire's progress. More than 5,400 personnel are working to combat the fire with 620 engines, 24 helicopters, and numerous firefighting air tankers. Facebook and its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, are now under investigation after allegations about Russian interference on its platform. Facebook reports they've hired a firm to dig up dirt on its competitors. In a conference call today, Zuckerberg denied all allegations and says Facebook has been too slow to deal with Russian disinformation.
A couple and a homeless man are facing charges in New Jersey after creating a fake story in order to receive GoFundMe donations. Caitlin McClure and Mark Diamarca set up a GoFundMe and says the money was going to a homeless veteran to turn his life around, but ended up spending the money on a BMW, handbags, and a trip to Las Vegas. All the donations were refunded, and the couple turned over all the money.
UK Prime Minister Theresa May's Brexit plan resulted in multiple Parliament resignations. 2 cabinet members, 2 junior ministers, and 2 parliamentary aides resigned following approval of the plan's draft by May's cabinet on Wednesday. Conservative lawmaker Jacob Rees-Mogg says the deal has turned out to be worse than anticipated and does not live up to the promises given to the nation by the Prime Minister. May says she will continue to fight for her Brexit deal.
For the very first time since the legalization a month ago, cannabis retailers in Canada are beginning to run low on supply. At first, companies were confident they had enough product in the first month, but since people are buying in large amounts, some stores are even starting to sell out. These have also been reports of shortages of medical cannabis, which has been legal in Canada since 2001.
Coming up in sports, Brian Rudman.
You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News.
She was like, yeah, and I was like, no, and then she was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, what?
Ryan just texted me.
Oh my god, what did he say?
Netflix and chill?
Netflix and chill, that's like so last year. It's all about WTOP movies on demand and chill.
You are so right.
Yo, bro, what's wrong?
Yo, bro, my girl left me, bro.
But why?
Because I don't watch WTOP 10 movies on demand.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are. Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Do Your Selfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old pile of t-shirts.
It's not garbage, it's actually a new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Semi-final appearance, but this year's team is ready to take the next step. WTOP 10 sports reporter Nick Ketter spoke with the team about the upcoming season.
Last year, the Oswego State men's basketball team season ended in a SUNYAC semifinal game against rival Plattsburgh. Despite the great effort, the team looks to rebound this season.
Strengths are our togetherness. This group is really gelled for how new we are.
I think we're a team that can really shoot the ball, and then we have two good big men inside that can score. So when they have to get the whole team, we'll be able to shoot from the outside, attract attention, and we'll be able to keep attention off the game.
This Lakers team as a whole is embracing their strengths, but Coach Leone is looking for senior leadership.
Well, we actually have 3 seniors, but I think that's, any good team is going to have a strong senior leadership component, and I think this year will be no different for us. I'm very excited with Quinn Carey transferring from Geneseo, who's a senior, Tyler Pierre, who's been with us for a couple of years. This will be his 3rd year, and his 2nd year as a starter. And Alan Derudovic, who hasn't seen a lot of on-the-court time, but he's been a very good leader for us, and will have a substantial role on this year's team. Our group will be as good as those guys will take us.
The Lakers kick off their regular season with 2 home games this weekend. Friday they play Elmira, and Saturday they're back in action against SUNY Poly or Virtus. From Laker Hall reporting, I'm Nick Ketter for WTOP 10 Sports.
Lakers men's basketball will be in action tomorrow against the Elmira Golden Eagles. The game begins at 7:30 p.m. at the Max Zeal Gym in Laker Hall. Now to the Ice Up big weekend coming up for both Oswego hockey teams. We'll start with the women, who will take home ice for the first time this season on Friday at 7 p.m. against the Cortland Red Dragons. The Lakers will come in with a 4-0-0 record following the road victories against King's College, Wilkes University, and 2 against Buffalo State. The Lakers will look to get contributions from junior Aaron Stewart, who has been phenomenal so far this season with 3 goals and 4 assists. Moving now to the men's side of things, the Oswego State men's hockey team will hit the road this week for 2 games, starting with Fredonia on Friday, then Buffalo State on Saturday. The Lakers will head into the action ranked number 3 in the nation, following last weekend's 4-2 win over then ranked number 5 Hobart. The Lakers sit now at 3-0 and will look to continue the hot start this weekend. The MLB has announced their season's MVPs tonight. Taking home the hardware in the NL was Milwaukee Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich, who had a great year, tearing opposing pitching apart, especially in the second half of the season. On the year, he batted .326 with 36 home runs and 110 RBIs. On the AL side, it was Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts taking home the honor. Betts had a breakout year, batting .346 with 32 home runs, 30 steals, 80 RBIs, and adding a Gold Glove, all while leading his team to a World Series title. And it was a historic night last night in LA as LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers passed Wilt Chamberlain on the all-time scoring list to become number 5 on that all-time scoring list with 31,425 points in his career. James hit a free throw with 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the 4th to pass Chamberlain on the night. On the night, James had 44 points, 10 boards, and 9 assists, leading the Lakers to a 126-117 win over the Portland Trail Blazers. Now heading to OKC as the Knicks visited the Thunder last night. We'll start off in the first as it's Paul George who's going to find Steven Adams in the lane for a big dunk. Got the Thunder rolling early, and they'd continue that all night. Now it's Paul George's turn in the post. taking the fadeaway and draining it, making it 15-6 Thunder early. Now we're going to move to late in the first. It's Dennis Schroeder with the ball now, finding Adams in the lane again, and he's going to put his man on a poster. You'll be seeing that one in a kid's bedroom sometime soon. Now it's the second, and it's Thunder with the ball in a beautiful up and under right here to extend the Thunder lead to 15 in just the second quarter. Now about a minute later, it's Paul George's turn as he's going to weave his way throughout the defense and finds a spot to shoot and drains it, putting the Thunder up 18. Now about another minute later, it's going to be a Dennis Schroeder miss turning into another Steven Adams highlight as he was full of them last night to put the Thunder up 20. And here's Adams again with the interception. He's going to throw it down the court, and it's going to be nice passing by the Thunder to turn it into a huge But in the third, the Knicks trying to make a push, and it's Hardaway Jr. who's going to find room for a three and drain it to cut the lead down to 12. But the Thunder are going to stop it right there. Another big pass from Adams, and the Thunder go on to win 128-103. Thunder now 9-5, and the Knicks fall to 4-11.
Tough one for the Knicks last night for sure, but how about the Thunder? 9-1 since that 0-4 start?
Yeah, they've been playing really well, especially without Russell Westbrook. It'll be interesting to see how they gel again once Westbrook comes back off of injury.
So do we have more on all the snow that we're supposed to be getting?
Well, primarily around here, you can maybe expect maybe around 3 to 6 inches, but as you go further south away from the lake, you can expect to be a possibility of a foot or more in the higher elevations.
Just in time for travel season. Everyone trying to go home in snow.
It's feels more like December than November.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even know it was going to snow tonight until I stepped outside. I wore my nice shoes, walking here, didn't have any boots. Got to walk back and good luck.
Maybe someone putting their Christmas lights out early kind of invited the snow early. I don't know.
Yeah, you know.
Probably it.
Christmas music in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Christmas tree that I put up in my room that helped. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm gonna hold you personally responsible for that. But anyway, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for the Lakeside View.
Thank you so much for watching, and have a great night.
Hey, good morning, James.
Morning.
James, wake up. It's Rise and Shine time. James, Rise and Shine. James, wake up. We're starting the show.
Good morning and welcome back to Rise and Shine at 9. I'm James Gattato here with your next update.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
If you think trains will stop if they see a car on the tracks, you're right. They will. About a mile after they hit you. Stop. Trains can't.